Welcome to the third film in our series this year, but before I explain in greater detail, we will allow XGWR Hall-class locomotive Raveningham Hall to blast away from Bishop's Lydeard Station with the early morning train to Minehead. This, of course, is the Autumn Gala of the West Somerset Railway. The filming locations are not dissimilar to those which I've included in previous films, Willardson, Washford, Minehead of course, but this year's gala was different inasmuch as the railway had the use of XGWR 042 Loco 1450 hauling the Auto train, and we have several on-train sequences behind that locomotive. And here she is standing in the station at Bishop's Lydeard prior to a run up to Norton Fitzwarren and beyond. The station is comparatively empty on the first day of the gala, and this being quite early in the morning, so we've got the opportunity to look down the line towards Minehead and then look at the station infrastructure at Bishop's Lydeard. We complete our tour of Bishop's Lydeard Station, albeit a rather brief tour, just in time to catch the arrival of ex-LMS Class 4F Loco 44422 on the up train from Minehead. In its BR days, this locomotive operated at Templecoombe. It was built in 1927 at Derby, according to the builder's plate. Number 1450 departs on the Auto train in the direction of Norton Fitzwarren, and on one side of the turning triangle to Alliford Bridge, which is on the track bed of the old line to Barnstaple. Unfortunately no more. And then we shall watch Treble 422 leave Bishop's Lydiard for Minehead, and we shall follow it down the line and see it at various locations on its journey to Minehead. We are told that oak trees from little acorns grow, and here we are at the exit from Crocombe Heathfield station, and Treble 422 is at the platform end there, waiting to depart towards Minehead. Just in time also to catch her on the approach to Williton. Cheating rather, I've travelled quickly down to Minehead to have a look at the activity in the station yard. There's always plenty going on here on both sides of the line, and we shall await the arrival of our train in due course. Meanwhile, we see Raveningham Hall standing in the yard there. Standing at the platform side there is Little Kilmersdon, the Peckett loco, Bristol built, which normally resides at Washford, but she's doing trips up and down a short section of the line, hauling the beautifully restored S&D railway coach. Standing under the water tower there is another typical GWR locomotive, the so-called small prairie loco, number 5542, and we shall watch her leave the yard, negotiating the line structure, and then she too will draw a train in the Bishop's Lydeard direction. So after that brief interlude of locomotive activity, we can see our train hauled by Treble 422 coming into the station through the road crossing and past the signal box, which used to be located at Dunster Station but was moved down to this location by the railway personnel, making a very fine sight, as does our loco as she pulls her train into this near platform. I can only assume that the next manoeuvre on the turntable involving locomotive Treble 422 was a training exercise of some sort, because it involved simply the locomotive being turned through 360 degrees and then being driven away from the turntable. The locomotive that we saw leaving the yard a short while ago, the GWR Small Prairie Loco 5542, now draws her train away from Minehead in the Bishop's Lydia direction. The 4F is now able to complete her journey back from the turntable to this side of the yard, where she will be watered and prepared for her next duties.
Coming into water, I expect.
Having watched the intricacies of watering the 4F, a manoeuvre which seemed to get ever more complicated as it progressed, I then moved back to Williton and arrived just in time to film the arrival of Kinlet Hall. Moving to the up platform at Williton, I waited the arrival of the next train, which proved to be drawn by Raveningham Hall, which we saw previously parked at Minehead in preparation for this particular duty. We can see the signalman with his signal apparatus, which he will exchange with the driver, so that the driver has access to the next section of the line, and then Raveningham Hall will make a spirited departure from the station, and that will signal the end of our day's filming. My old school friend John Byfield takes his duties as crossing keeper very seriously as Raveningham Hall makes her departure. Day 2 of my visit starts as usual at Bishop's Lydiard, only today the engine drawing our train in the Minehead direction is Kinlet Hall. And she's well and truly been buffed up for the occasion, looking extremely smart. I sometimes think these preserved locomotives look better now than they ever did in British Rail service as I watched them in the 1940s and 1950s. We shall now turn our attention to the auto train, because it's my intention to take the train from Bishop's Lydiard to Barnstaple Junction, marked on the map there, bottom right corner, and then we shall move forward along the track bed of the old Barnstaple line through the junction, referred to there as Orchard Junction, past the orchard to Alliford Bridge, and then we shall return. This, of course, is the turning triangle for the railway, which is now in extensive use. Area in the distance there is the site of Norton Manor Camp, the camp of the Royal Marine Commandos. now reached the junction, Barnstaple Junction, and a member of the crew will climb down from the rear of the auto coach and operate the points so that we can move forward along the bottom side of the triangle towards Orchard Junction.
Hello.
Yet another safety device is removed from the points lever there and carried on the locomotive to protect that junction so that we can traverse the junction in both directions without any mishap. with the cider apple orchards on our right. We arrive finally at our destination, Alliford Bridge, which is the end of this little spur built over the track bed of the original Taunton to Barnstaple line, which of course is no more. I did travel the line once in 1955, travelling back from Barnstaple to Taunton and Bristol and then to a job interview, but that's a long time ago. Anyway, we're making our return journey now, retracing our steps to the newly named Barnstaple Junction. The platform on the left-hand side in view was built as part of the task of constructing this turning triangle. It's not used routinely by passengers and there are no facilities for passengers at this point. Nevertheless, it's there in the event of a need to discharge passengers or for crew members or what have you to join their train. I've included slightly more film of the journey back to Bishop's Lydeard from the turning triangle to give you some idea of the line and its structure. It was originally, of course, twin track from Taunton and the Norton Fitzwarren junction as far as Bishop's Lydeard, but is now reduced to a single track operation for the purposes of the Somerset Railway. Nevertheless, the dimensions indicate that it was originally a more substantial line. As our little auto train waits its next duty at Bishop's Lydeard, we await the arrival of the next up train, which is drawn by Odney Manor, the Manor class locomotive which operates on the West Somerset Railway. Using the station steps as a vantage point, we watch the departure of the auto train, which is now going further down the line as far as Crocombe Heathfield. I too have moved back down the line, and I'm awaiting the arrival of Raveningham Hall on a Minehead bound train. I've moved down the line as far as Washford, pretty little station, the base of the Somerset and Dorset Railway Trust. Their facilities are on the left of the line there, but it's a typical Great Western country station. And here she comes. Raveningham Hall's departure in the Minehead direction concludes our filming for today, but we should be back again tomorrow bright and early at Bishop's Lydeard to see what the day brings. Until then, well, today should be a busy day, the Saturday of the extended gala weekend. And we arrive at Bishop's Lydeard, and the engine waiting to draw the Minehead train out of Bishop's Lydeard station is Kinlet Hall. She and the Manor and Raveningham Hall have borne the brunt of the large locomotive operations on the line during this gala, but she's quickly joined by the auto train which arrives from Minehead direction, and she certainly has added some novelty to the whole event.
Well, it's purchased by the locomotive 65.
The next train being assembled for the run to Minehead will be drawn by Odney Manor. This is the second time that we've seen this one in operation, and she makes a splendid sight as she backs onto her train. As I said earlier, she has on occasions been renamed Norton Manor in conjunction with the Norton Manor camp and the Help the Heroes event. But today she's carrying her ex-GWR name of Odney Manor. The next train to leave Bishop's Lydeard in the Minehead direction, albeit not to go the whole distance, only as far as Crowcombe, will be the auto train. And what's more, we should be travelling on it, which will be a novel experience on this section of the line. We shall travel down to Crowcombe, behind the locomotive, and we shall return sitting in the back coach, where we shall watch the driver operating the controls remotely from the back of the driving coach. Whilst we wait for the departure of our auto train, we see the arrival on the upline from Minehead of GWR locomotive 6435, which is an auto engine. This has been provided by the Bodmin and Wenford Railway in Cornwall for the purposes of the gala, because the engine, as advertised, number 4612, was not available in time. And here she comes. We are now running into Crowcombe Heathfield Station, where we shall stop briefly to set down one or two passengers, and then it'll be back to Bishop's Lydiard riding on the other end of the train. For the return journey, we're riding at the rear of the auto coach, where we can watch the driver in his alternative position, where he has full control of the locomotive, the regulator, the brake, the whistle, and therefore, of course, control of the complete train. It's a very novel experience.
There's only got one coach to get over there, so even if he can do an bit 10 minutes
Yeah, are you going to go on it?
Yeah, I'll go.
A new experience for me now, certainly on this line, riding in the front of a train through the arch and into Bishop's Lydeard Station, where we see the GWR local 5542, the small prairie, waiting to take out its Minehead train. Never a dull moment. The auto train, hauled by number 1450, is ready to go again. This time it's going further down the line than Crocombe. It will go through Crocombe, having stopped, and then on to Stogumber, which is a tiny station on the way to Williton. It'll come back quickly from Stogumber, and we should film it both ways from the bridge at Crocombe Heathfield Station. And here we are on the bridge at the exit to Crocombe Heathfield Station, and our quarry, the auto train, is just leaving. The trains at this point always whistle because there's a small farm crossing just round the bend, and there's a road crossing a little bit further down, so there's usually a second whistle. The whistle you've just heard there signifies the returning train as she makes her way back from Stogumber. Crocombe Heathfield is one of the railway's 3 main passing places, the other 2 being Willetton and Blue Anchor. And leaving Crocombe Heathfield now is the little pannier tank 6435 drawing her train to Minehead. She will pass under our bridge and disappear in the direction of Stigumber and beyond, and that will be the final scenes of this year's gala, which we have found intensely interesting, and I trust that you have too in watching this little film. Until the next time then.